Have you ever watched a leader fail when it mattered most? Or have you seen a team pull off the impossible because people did the right thing at the right time? That's what this video is about. Today, I'm going to give you a simple tool called the Leadership Integrity Test. You can use it on yourself, on your team, on your boss, or maybe even history itself. By the end of this video, you'll understand three things: what leadership really means, how the Leadership Integrity Test works, and what the chain of integrity looks like and why it breaks. Let's start with the definition. Leadership isn't a title. It isn't seniority or charisma. Leadership is the power to make choices that affect someone else's well-being. That's it. So if your decisions touch another person's safety, their health, their dignity, or their future, you're in a leadership role. That might be a CEO making policy decisions, a teacher deciding how to handle a bullying report, or even a parent deciding whether a storm is too dangerous for a weekend trip. In every case, someone's well-being depends on you. That's leadership. Once you see it that way, you can't unsee it. Now that we know what leadership is, let's talk about integrity. Integrity isn't about being perfect. It's about consistency between your values and your actions, especially under pressure. The Leadership Integrity Test is how we measure that consistency. It's made of three questions, and they're simple on purpose. The first question, question one: did you act immediately when people were at risk? Leadership begins with movement. When there's danger, delay is a decision. If you hesitate to protect people, that hesitation is failure. Question two: did you tell the truth clearly? Leadership requires honesty without spin. People can't make good choices with bad information. If you hide, soften, or reframe the truth for optics, you've traded integrity for image. Question three: did you repair the system so that harm couldn't happen again? Leadership doesn't end when the crisis does. It ends when the system is fixed. If you leave the same risk in place, you've only delayed till the next failure. That's the test. Announce, act again. If the answer is no to even one of those, integrity is in question. Look, it's simple, but it's not easy. Now let's see how this looks in the real world. This is my Lego model of the James Caird. This was a lifeboat used by explorer Ernest Shackleton during the Endurance expedition. He led 28 men, and not a single one of them was lost. Their ship was crushed by the Antarctic ice. There was no rescue, no radio, and the temperatures were below zero. So Shackleton made one of the hardest calls of his life. He and 5 men sailed nearly 800 miles through the Southern Ocean to reach help on South Georgia Island. So how does Shackleton score on the test? First of all, act immediately. When the ice began to crush the hull of the Endurance, he ordered the evacuation fast. No denial, no delay. Every decision after that was about survival. 2, did he tell the truth? He never sugarcoated their situation. His men knew exactly how bad it was, and they trusted him because of it. Repair the system. 3, he built routine, food rationing, watches, morale rituals, a structure that kept hope alive until rescue. That's a perfect example of one person living the test. Act, announce, act again. Integrity held because connection held. He could look at every man in the eye, and every link in his chain was personal. Now let's scale this up from one leader to hundreds. In April of 1970, the crew of Apollo 13 was 2 days from the moon when an oxygen tank exploded. The mission was suddenly about survival, not science. Inside the spacecraft, power was failing, carbon dioxide levels were rising, and back on Earth, hundreds of engineers worked around the clock. Here's how they passed the test. They acted immediately. Within minutes of the explosion, Flight Director Gene Kranz and his team shifted from go for the moon to get them home. They shut down systems, rerouted power, and made a plan in real time. Okay, step 2, telling the truth. Controllers didn't hide what happened. They sent every detail to the astronauts. No spin, no half-truths. And when you're in space, honesty is survival. 3, repairing the system. They invented fixes on the fly. They used duct tape and cardboard and suit hoses to clean the air with filters. They rewrote a checklist for re-entry and made sure it could never happen again. The chain of integrity held from the astronauts to mission control to NASA leadership. Every link acted, told, and repaired. That's why Apollo 13 became not known as a failure, but NASA's finest hour. We jump ahead to 16 years later, the same organization failed the same test. The Space Shuttle Challenger, in January 28, 1986, freezing weather, ice on the launch pad, and engineers at Mordecai warned that the O-rings in the booster joints could fail in the cold. One engineer, Alan McDonald, refused to sign the launch recommendations. He told the truth and he tried to stop it, but managers overrode him. They worried about the schedule, press coverage, and the optics. The chain of integrity broke. So let's run this test. Act immediately. No. The people with the power delayed acting on the warning. 2. Tell the truth clearly. No. The truth was filtered, it was softened. Repair the system. No. Until the tragedy forced them to, they didn't repair. 73 seconds after the launch, the shuttle exploded. 7 people died, including teacher Kristen McAuliffe. That's what a broken chain looks like. Integrity failed, not the technology. That same year, across the world, another disaster, Chernobyl. In April of 1986, operators at the nuclear power plant performed an unsafe test. Leaders had ignored design flaws. They silenced dissidents and falsified reports. When the reactor exploded, they delayed admitting it for more than a day. Nearby towns were left exposed to radiation. Eventually, thousands of liquidators, the ordinary soldiers, firefighters, and citizens, were sent to clean up the site. They risked their lives because leadership had failed. Let's run the test. Act immediately. No. The first response was denial. Tell the truth. No, officials hid the scale of the accident. 3. Repair the system. Only after immense loss did they actually work to repair the system. Chernobyl shows what happens when every link in a chain fails at once. So what do these stories teach us? Integrity is not a personal virtue. It's a chain that connects every leader, every policy, and every action. If one link says, wait, the chain weakens. If one link says, hide this, the chain cracks. If one link says, protect the brand first, the chain breaks. Shackleton's chain was short and strong. Apollo's 13 was long but honest. Challenger's chain snapped under the pressure. And Chernobyl's chain just disintegrated completely. Your job is to build systems where doing the right thing is normal, where truth moves faster than fear. Okay, now let's bring this home. These aren't just stories about ships and rockets and reactors. They're about your workplace. If you're in a leadership role and someone reports harm, a toxic work environment, unsafe behavior, or abuse, run the test. Act immediately. Protect people first. Tell the truth clearly. No spin, no waiting for HR to craft language, and then repair the system. Change what allowed it to happen. If you don't, it will happen again. And that's how cultures rot. From ignored integrity, not lack of policy. Every small choice matters. If someone tells you, I don't feel safe, your next move will determine trust for years. That's why leadership integrity test is powerful. It gives you the language to measure leadership everywhere, from crisis response to daily decisions. Here's what I want you to take away. First, leadership is any choice that affects the other's well-being. 2, integrity can be measured by the test. Act, announce, repair. And 3, the chain of integrity is real and you need to protect it. Run the test this week on real decisions. Share it with your team and ask them to run it on you. Then look at your organization. Are people rewarded for integrity or for optics? That's where cultural change begins. Hi y'all. I'm Ryan Sailstad. I've spent 23 years teaching leadership through experience, from wilderness expeditions to government programs to NASA classrooms. The Caird leadership method is about building systems where the right thing is the normal thing. If this helped you, share it with someone who leads. And I hope you'll subscribe for more tools that will help you lead, because when we act with integrity, we lead like people matter.